Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm fine.
All right. So, yes, Miss Chhaya, how was your day?
My day was good. Just
Mm-hmm.
did work
Mm-hmm.
like every.
Okay, so it was like every day, is it? Okay. So, let's talk about the topic of the day, which is spices, shall we?
Uh, I want to talk on prepositions and articles.
Prepositions and articles, is it? Just give me a second. I have a presentation on that, but before that, okay, I'll talk about that. Let's talk about articles. Okay. Okay. So, by the end of this lesson, we'll be able to learn, we'll be able to identify the three types of articles, which are a, an, and the. We'll
Hmm.
also understand the concept of zero article, which means where there is no necessary to use, where it's not necessary to use any article, which means zero article. Also, you'll be able to apply the correct article in speech and writing. Also, we'll avoid the common errors in the article usage. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So, what word do you use before um, apples and oranges?
For apples
Yeah. What word would you use before apples?
and apple.
Okay. And how about fruits?
The fruits.
Okay. Glass of milk?
A glass of milk.
A glass of milk, maybe, right? Okay. Talk about first, let's talk about indefinite articles. Okay. Indefinite articles are a or an. All right.
A or N.
A or an. All right. So the thing is, right. So here we'll talk about a or an. So when do we use a or an? We use it before singular countable nouns. Okay. When they are mentioned for the first time. Okay. I'll write it in the chat box so that you can understand it better. Okay. So we use a or an before single countable nouns when they are mentioned for the first time. Okay. Before consonant sounds. Okay. A before consonant sounds and an before the vowel sounds.
What?
Okay. It
Hmm.
refers to one of many. Okay. It
Hmm.
refers to one of many. All right. Next. Then we have, okay, for example, we can say, I saw a cat. Okay, I would want you to read this. Okay,
I saw a
can you read
cat.
this?
I saw a cat in the garden.
Mhm. And
She is a teacher. She waited for an hour. I
yes,
bought a 1 rupee coin.
yes. So here it's all about the examples for indefinite article a or an. Okay. So when do we use a or an? When we talk about or when we use before sorry, we use it before single countable nouns when mentioned for the first time, or
Hmm.
it refers to before consonant sounds also we use an before vowel sounds. Okay. It means one out of so many. All right. For example, I saw a cat in the garden. There are so many cats, but I saw one of them. Right. And
Hmm.
he is a teacher. There are so many teachers. He is also a teacher. She waited for an hour. She waited for like 1 hour. I bought a 1 rupee coin. Right. Like it's about one. Then
Means
we have the definite. Yes.
there is one particular thing that time we use a, right?
Yes, yes. When we
And
have one thing out of many things, okay,
uh,
and we also use singular countable nouns. Before singular countable nouns, we use a, and when we are talking about them, when we are mentioning it for the first time.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Next is usage of definite article the.
The.
Okay. So when do we use the? It is used when it refers to something specific or known. Okay. When we are talking about something specific or known already, right?
Yeah.
For example, or when we are talking about something specific, when we are talking about something specific or something that is known, and for unique things, for example, the sun, the earth, right? It's a
Mm,
unique thing, right? With superlatives and ordinals, the best, the first. Okay.
mm,
The best is the superlative. Okay. The to talk about the order, the first, the second. Okay. And also with musical instruments, whenever we are talking about the musical instruments, she plays piano, or she sorry no, sorry we should say she plays the piano.
mm.
Okay. And with geographical features, for example, the Himalayas, the Ganga, the Pacific. Okay. So in
Okay.
these situations we use we use the article the. Okay. For example, here we have the
With
examples.
with
What?
any musical instrument means there is a meaning. So every time we use the.
No, it's not about the many. We have to use this. The rule is that whenever we are talking about any musical instrument, we should use the. Okay?
Okay.
The tabla, the piano, the violin. Okay? Like that.
Okay.
For example, I saw a girl. The girl was my cousin. So here, if you notice, in the first time, he's talking about a girl. There are so many girls, but he has seen or he saw one
One.
girl. He saw a girl, or I saw a girl. And
Mm,
then, since we are talking about that specific girl, we say the girl was my cousin.
mm.
Okay.
Yes.
Then we can also say the next one is the moon looks bright tonight.
Uh,
Okay. The moon, because the moon is a specific or unique thing, the
mm,
moon looks bright tonight. Okay.
mm.
And then we have he is the tallest in the class. To talk about the superlative, he is the only one who is the tallest. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, who is no, the yeah, who is the tallest in the class. And then we visited the Taj Mahal. It is to talk about the geographical thing or the monuments, right? The particular thing.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the zero article. Okay. Zero
Okay.
article is used when, in the sense, we don't use any article when we have plural
Mm,
nouns. Okay. For example, general statements. Dogs are loyal. It's not the dogs are, it's just dogs are loyal. Plural
mm,
nouns, and it is a general statement. And of course, general statement is that plural, that dogs are loyal. Okay. Uncountable nouns. To talk about uncountable nouns, where general statements, okay, for example,
mm,
water is essential. Okay.
mm.
And to talk about proper nouns, for example, India, Ramesh, Mount Everest, all these are proper nouns, the names of those people. Okay.
Mm.
Next, to talk about the languages or subjects. She speaks Hindi, not the Hindi. He studies physics, not the physics or a physics or an physics. Okay. When we talk about meals, we had lunch at 2 p.m. Not the lunch, not a lunch, not an lunch. Okay. Talking about the institutions for primary purpose, she is in hospital as a patient. Okay. Here it's specific about she is in hospital. Okay.
Mm.
Next is to talk about the transport or time expressions. For example, we travel by bus, he sleeps at night. Okay.
Yes.
Then examples are children love stories. It's a general statement, right?
Mm,
Children love stories is a general statement. Milk is good for health is a general statement again. And then he is in school, okay, which means he's studying, he's admitted to the school. We go to church on Sundays, not on to the church. All right.
yes.
Okay. Now let's practice. I'll give you a few sentences. I want
Yes.
you to, I mean, I'll give you a few blanks. I want you to fill those blanks. Okay. Okay. So I have written one in the chat box. Can you read that? Can you correct that?
I saw that elephant in the zoo. A
I'm sorry?
elephant. I saw a elephant in the zoo.
Is it?
No, I saw an elephant in the zoo.
I saw an elephant in the zoo. Right?
Yes.
Right. What about this?
She studied it. She studies an English at university.
I'm sorry?
She studies an English at university.
Is it an English?
A English. A.
No. How can that be? Why do you use, or why do you have to use an English or a English then?
Because there is E. A E I O
Yeah,
U.
but that is also a subject.
Yes. So the English.
No, if we learned it, right? We learned that when do we use zero article? When we are talking about subjects, he studies physics, languages. It's not the Hindi, it's not the English. It's just Hindi
English.
or English, right? Okay. So we had, give me a second. Next one, we had dash dinner at a restaurant.
We had a dinner.
Why is it a dinner?
No articles.
Yeah. So what should you say? How should you read the whole sentence?
We had dinner at
Yes, we
restaurant.
had dinner at a restaurant. Okay. Next one.
He is an honest man.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
He is an honest man.
Yes. Why is it an honest man?
Uh,
Why is it an honest man?
because there is it is silent, I think. So,
H is silent and the sound is
oh,
honest. O sound. Okay. Right. Next.
I live near the Ganga River. The
Okay. I live near the Ganga River. Okay. Right. So let me send you a few sentences. I want you to make corrections in those sentences. Okay. Correct the errors over here.
She is a teacher at the college. She is the
Is it?
she is a teacher at the college.
She is a teacher at the college. Which one is right?
A teacher.
Why do you think so?
Because teacher is one.
Hmm.
So because of that, a teacher
No, one. How?
is a teacher.
You're right. I just want an explanation for that.
It is a singular.
It is one out of so many, right?
Yes.
We are talking about one out of many teachers.
Mhm.
Okay? Right.
Water is good for you. It is a general statement, so no use of the. Water is good
Okay.
for you.
Okay. You should not use the. Okay. We visited the Andaman last year. Okay. Next. Okay. He plays guitar well.
He plays the guitar well.
He plays the guitar well. Right. Okay. So, okay. Any confusions over here?
No, clear.
Everything clear? Okay. So let's talk about the prepositions now. All right. So we'll talk about the prepositions of time, place, and movement. Okay.
Okay,
So we have something over here. Like we'll talk about, like by the end of this session, you will be able to identify the different types of prepositions. Use prepositions of time, place, and movement also. Okay. Right. So where do you usually have your breakfast?
on. Can you repeat?
Where do you usually have your breakfast?
Uh, in my hall.
Okay. What time do you wake up generally?
At so 7 o'clock.
Okay. And how do you travel to work every day?
I travel by bus.
Okay. And have you ever walked through a forest?
Yes, many times.
Okay. What is your okay, what is next to your house?
Mm, there is another building
Okay. Where is your phone right now?
in front of me.
Okay. All right. So here what all you said was like in, at, right? So all these are called as the prepositions. Okay. For example, the keys are, I'll read the sentences over here. I'll write the sentences over here. Okay. And I want you to read those. Can you read the sentences?
The key are on the table. We met at the station. The meeting start at 10 a.m.
Right. So here, if you notice on, at, and at, all these are prepositions. Okay. Right. So we have the types of prepositions. Okay. First preposition is at, which means talking about the exact time. Okay. Which means at 6 p.m., at noon. Okay. Um, and the next one is on. Okay. And for on, you can say days and dates. Okay.
Mm,
For example, on Monday, on 15th July. Okay.
mm,
So this is to talk about on. Okay. Next is in. Okay. In.
mm,
In is used to talk about months. Okay. Years, seasons. Okay. For example, in June 2026 or in winter. Okay.
okay.
For example, okay, next one is before, right? Before is also a preposition. Here what happens is you talk about or you use um earlier than when you're talking about something before or earlier than that. Okay. For
Mm,
example, finish before lunch. Okay. You're
mm,
asking somebody to finish something before lunch. After, you can use that to talk about something that is later than that. Okay. For example, we met after class. Okay.
mm.
Then we have during. All right.
Yes.
During, while something happens. Okay. For
Yes.
example, during the meeting. All
Yes.
right. Then we have since. Since is to talk about the starting point. The starting point, for example, since 2020. Okay.
Mm,
Again, we have for. For is used to talk about the duration. Okay, for
Hmm.
example, for 3 hours, for 2 hours, for 1 year. Okay, then we have until.
Until.
Until or till, which means up to a point. Okay,
Okay.
until Friday, until Monday. Okay,
Okay.
next we have the prepositions of place. Place in a room, in a box. Okay, where is it? It's in a room, it's in the box. Okay, on on the wall, right, to talk about or to see, to tell about like where it is kept again. Next is at the airport. Okay,
Hmm.
and then between two buildings, when something is between two buildings or between two things. Okay,
Hmm.
next is among means again it is within among those things. Okay, among friends, then behind the door. Okay, behind
Hmm.
the chair, wherever it is. Next is in front of the school, right? So
Okay.
talking about that. Next is beside. Beside means beside the chair, near. Okay,
Hmm.
which is close to. Or we also have above the shelf. Okay, below the picture. Over means over the bridge, right, on up over the bridge. And under the bed. Okay, where it is not touching the things. Opposite means opposite to the bank, something that is
That
opposite to it. Yes.
that over. I'm confused. That.
Over the bridge means it is not touching that bridge.
Okay.
Okay, something that is, if it's on, then it is touching. If it
Hmm.
is over, then it is not touching. It's similar to under. Okay,
Okay.
next is opposite the bank.
Hmm.
Okay, and next is near my office. All right, next we
Yes.
have the prepositions to, go to school, going to a particular place. Into, walk into the room. And onto is jump onto the stage. Okay, through is walk through the park. Across is swim across the river. Okay, along, walk along the road, which means alongside the road. Around means drive around the city. Okay,
Hmm.
and out of means come out of the building, something like that. Okay, towards means walk towards the station, near, closer to the station. Past means walk past the library. Okay, something like that.
Okay.
Now I have a sentence. Okay, I have some blanks over here. I was born dash 1998.
I was born.
Should you use in, at, or on?
I was born in
In
1990.
1998. Okay. The cat is hiding dash the table, under the table, over the table, between the table,
Under the table.
under the table. Okay. We walked dash the bridge, through, across, beside.
Beside.
We walked across the bridge. Okay, because here you're walking across the bridge. Okay, एक तरफ से दूसरी तरफ जाने के लिए.
Okay.
Next is the meeting starts dash 9 a.m. on it at, sorry, on in at.
On.
The meeting begins on 9 a.m.
At night 9 a.m.
at 9 a.m. Okay, all right. So Miss Chaya, we have a few